morning everyone. So I'm going to be talking about today the reasons that I think I got Crohn's disease. Different factors that went into it at that time, all different reasons or conclusions I've come to in my head. So I'm going to be sharing it with you today, so keep tuned. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's A Hard Crohn's Life, or welcome if you are new. I just want to say a big thank you to all your lovely messages that I've received on me doing this channel, and I'm so pleased now that I've done it because I've helped so many people and hopefully I will carry on doing so. So today I'm going to be talking about the reason that I think I got Crohn's disease. There's so many different reasons that have gone through my head through the years. Obviously, I have had Crohn's disease for 8 years now, and I think that naturally there's lots of different things that go through your mind. Why have I got this? And I know that probably many of you feel exactly the same or have felt the same in the past of why they've ended up having something wrong with them. So I wanted to talk a bit about that today. This is a tough one because it's something that does, I suppose, still play on my mind sometimes. It kind of comes in and out of my head at different points, and I do still now. I think, oh, I wonder if it was that, or it could have been that. But I think I'm going to go back to 8 years now. So the main reason at the time I thought caused it was mainly stress. I've been told before, obviously, by doctors that it can cause that, but I think on a whole, I don't think that that was probably the main reason, obviously, I got ill. I think if you're going to get something like that, I feel like in my head, I think it's an underlying problem that has always been there and it may never erupt, depending on different things that happens in your life. But I think for me, that is when it decided to erupt and obviously flare up in a big way, where I ended up coming to a diagnosis of what was wrong with me. Now, this is obviously different for every single different person, but this is just my personal take on it, really, to why I think I got ill. So obviously, one being stress was a big factor. I kept getting a lot of bad throats leading up to it. So I kept going to the doctors and explaining, this is what I've got wrong with me. Like, this is the feeling I've got in my throat. And all he kept doing was giving me antibiotics over and over again. And I think I had so many antibiotics that I think, obviously, it's probably common knowledge that if you keep taking antibiotics, it can kill off a lot of things in your own immunities in your body. So I think that is another part of why I got ill. I used to suck my thumb when I was a kid. That's another thing that pops into my head. I think all the germs that I've put into my body through the years, could it have been that? It's such a tough one because it could have been neither of these things that I'm saying, or it could have been a combination of everything. I also got food poisoning. Now, when I say food poisoning, I mean in a big way. I had salmonella and it was the worst thing of my life. I mean, I thought I was going to die. It was the most traumatic time, obviously, prior to getting ill. But it was one of the things that I feel in my heart of hearts, could it have been that? Could it have been where my body was fighting that off so much that in the end I ended up just getting inflammation because it was attacking itself, basically. One of my friends said to me, why don't you go for an allergy test? Because there's all different ways you can do allergy tests, but this particular place that I was recommended, I went to this lady and she said to me, of all the things, there was nothing that was coming up on this. It was like certain things that they did on your fingers, and the only thing that came up in that test that it was showing, I think it sort of flagged up different levels in your body, and was chicken. And of all the things that you'd think, oh, maybe I'm intolerant to that, or maybe I'm allergic to that, chicken. I mean, and that was what, obviously, I got my food poisoning through. So at the time, I put two and two together and thought, that's what it was. That is exactly what it was. That's what caused me to get ill, including the stress on top of it, that I was going through a breakup at the time. So all of that amounted to me getting ill. Even when I was at school, I was always thin. And I hated it. I absolutely hated it, because to me, I wasn't normal. I wasn't the same as everyone else, you know, at school. I mean, I remember being, I think about, even right up till I was about 17, I would wear 2 pairs of trousers to make my legs look bigger. And it sounds so silly, because people would think, oh, you know, I'd love to be thin, but to me it wasn't right. And I used to say to my mum, even all them years ago, I'd say, Mum, there's something wrong with me, there's something not right. I just knew there was something not right, and I was right. That's how I feel now. I think, do you know what? It could have been the food poisoning, it could have been stress, it could have been all these different things. I think either way, maybe I could have prolonged me getting ill, and I could have maybe, if I hadn't have got the food poisoning and them things, I would have maybe got ill, and it would have flared up in my 50s, 40s, anything like that. But it's only recently where I've thought to myself, do you know what? I would have got this anyway. It's not like that food poisoning caused me to get Crohn's disease. I know now, reflecting back, that I would have got this anyway, and it was only a matter of time before it happened. There's so many of you that probably feel or have felt the same as I'm feeling, or what if it was that? What if it could be that? Or, you know, it's really something that you will never know. And as much as we kind of beat ourselves up about it, we will never know what it was, because we can't go back in time and do things differently. So really it's a pointless worry. But I understand that it's a natural instinct to feel like that if either your loved ones or you have got ill. I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you are beating yourself up and you are thinking all these sorts of thoughts that have gone through my mind and still do a bit, try your hardest not to, because I think either way, it won't change it. It won't change the past. This is why I'm doing these videos, so that you can relate to them and you can think, yeah, I feel like that, or I felt like that before. And hopefully that will make you feel better and help. Another thing they say is it could be hereditary. A few friends that I speak to have got it through, you know, a family member that's already got it. Way I think is the sort of thing, I suppose, where you wouldn't have that feelings of, you know, could it be this or could it be that, because you kind of in your head justify it and you know kind of what it is and where it's come from. And I suppose it does worry me that my son could get it, but it's one of them things that I just think, you know, again, I could beat myself up and worry about what if it could happen, but all I can do is try and keep him as healthy as I possibly can. Maybe I go a little bit overboard with that sometimes. I think a lot of people don't sort of understand, and they sort of look at me and think, why are you not giving your child chocolate? He's 3 years old, you know, and things like that. But he's got all the in my mind, he's got all the time in the world to have them sorts of things. And as long as I can keep him away from what we call bad foods, I will. And that's just my way of coping with the sort of conscience that if he did ever get something like that, that I know I did everything in my power to help. Well, anyway, this has got a little bit serious, hasn't it? Blimey. Normally we're just, you know, just having a general chat about how we feel and things like that, and it's got really serious today. I'm sorry about that. But they're just they are the things that we think about. And again, like I say, I don't want you to feel alone. So if you do have them same sort of feelings, or there's different things that you thought that you've had, let me know in the comments below, because it's nice to know that you're not alone with these. Not only you, but me as well. It's nice to sort of converse with different sort of things and ideas and thoughts. And if you want to see any more of my videos, please subscribe. That would be absolutely brilliant. I'd love you to stick around, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys.